Hi there everyone, it's the Governor Gamertag here, and today I wanted to talk about Rainbow Six Siege, and more specifically taking a look at my experiences during Year 3 and spotting areas that I think I can improve my game. The reason for this is that I am not a particularly high ranked player. Last year my ranks ranged from Bronze 1 up to Gold 2, and I would personally rate myself on PlayStation 4 as a high silver, low gold player. The reason for that is even when my rank was varying, when I was playing up against that kind of level player, I was able to hold my own, and in some cases leading my team. So I do feel that I have the potential to be at that rank. However, sometimes you do find yourself getting stuck at certain ranks. This video is mostly just to reflectively look and spot areas that I think held me back last year, and also things that I'd like to improve going forwards. It's not supposed to be high level advanced thought analysis or tips for people, it's just something that I thought would be interesting and maybe might help people out at my similar skill level. To give an overall analysis of my gameplay, I would say that I am much more comfortable on defense, and I think the reason for that is that I have map control at the start of a round. The defenders have the map control and the attackers have to take it away from them. This gives me much more freedom of positioning, it means I can manipulate the map in my favour, and also it gives me a lot more information because the attackers have to make noise to get into the map, so it gives me a lot more information on where they are compared to them finding out where I am, and that makes me a lot more comfortable as a player. I personally like the element in Siege that even if my aim isn't necessarily on point, I can out-position and outthink my enemy. However, that can only ever take me so far, and I think that mindset has really held me back when I'm attacking. Recently I uploaded the loadout video about the sneaky sledge loadout, and whilst I do think that is a valid loadout and does bring some useful utility to the team, it does entirely enforce this mindset of I need to make the map in my favour so I have the advantage, rather than I need to take control away from the enemies. It's a very passive loadout, whereas I think I need to be a little bit more aggressive in my gameplay. And it's led me to pose this question: do I actually need to start losing in order to eventually start winning? At the moment, I find a lot of rounds I get stuck outside of the building, or I don't fully want to push in, or I get far away from the objective because I'm not confident enough to actually just push towards that objective and pressure the defenders. I'm too worried that if I lose a gunfight, it's going to snowball and my team will lose the round and eventually the game. But ultimately, the only way to learn is by making these mistakes, by actually making a bad play or being outplayed by your enemy is actually a great way to learn in this game. And I think I need to give myself a more proactive mindset. Instead of being worried about making a single mistake, I need to accept that I'm going to make them and I can learn a lot from them. I think that would be a much more proactive mindset, and I think that would really help me in my game. I found that further through the year, where I was playing the game a little bit less, I was getting even worse at this problem, and I just wouldn't push into buildings at times. In fact, the only times I felt confident pushing into buildings was actually when I was doing a Monty push with Kyle. And in fairness, that is actually really fun. I'm so glad I tried that out for the first time. If you haven't actually tried it before, you really do need at least one other person working with you, but pushing in as Montaigne can be really fun, especially when it works. And it's especially fun when you can use him to block enemies out of the objectives, as in this clip.
Secure the container. You've got Bandit coming up down from ping. I genuinely think you do. No way!
But ultimately, whilst pushing in using this character is very fun, it's not going to help me in the majority of circumstances. If I decide to solo queue, Monty is going to be a very situational pick, and he may not be useful at all for me, especially considering that I'm a weak shield player. So I need to actually push in and be a bit more aggressive, be willing to take fights, because that's the thing that I'm so far not doing. I'm not actually willing to take the fight and take the risk associated with it. But ultimately, if I want to improve, that's what I need to start doing, because if I don't push in, I don't take fights, I will not put any pressure on the defenders, and they can just move around the map as they please. And I think that is what is going to help me improve this year. In terms of operators, I think I've also got the problem that I do tend to panic sometimes in the operator screen. I see all the choices, I see the objective, and I'm just left with a blank, and I can't work out who is the best operator to pick. Who should I play in this situation? Because I don't have a set tactic or position I want to play in, and I just sort of freeze, so I just go to a random pick, and I can't tell you the amount of times it's picked Blitz or Glaz, two operators I'm absolutely terrible at using. So I'm not sure whether this means I need to have more of a plan in my head, or I just need to be more comfortable just picking an operator and saying, if I don't know what I'm going to do, this is the person I fall back to, because this person will bring a good amount of utility and I can still be useful to my team. And hopefully that would fix this panic situation, because as much as it's fun, most teammates will hate me for getting random picked onto Lord Tachanka. I think overall in my gameplay, I have a good mindset with how to approach certain situations. I feel that I have a good understanding of how to respond to the situation around me, mostly from playing games like Battlefield and also more recently Apex Legends and my experience on this game. I feel that once I gain information, I know what I need to do to outplay my enemy. The main problem is I need to be more proactive about getting that information and also putting pressure on the enemy team. I think once I can do that, I will find myself winning more rounds and actually having more interesting rounds and more interesting matches, because I find that sometimes, yes, my team will win, but I will contribute very little to the match because I've been too passive and not actually put any pressure onto the defenders. Yes, I may not get a kill in the round, but if I've caused the enemy to look and be distracted by me so that my teammate can take advantage of it, then it was definitely a worthwhile play. So I do hope you found this interesting and maybe found some of it useful. This is what I'm going to try and improve in terms of my mindset as I go through year 4, as I am still enjoying playing the game and I want to be able to have more consistent enjoyment whilst playing ranked. But I do hope you've enjoyed this video, but I've been the guy from the Gamertag, and I'll see you on another video.
Oh, nice.